Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the IORK Podcast, your go-to hub of the Rental Go-Kart Championship. My name is Tom, I'm your host, and I'm joined with my co-host and founder of IORK, Nick Fowler. First thing we're going to get into is we have an exciting announcement. We are going to be having a promotion through May, the Golden Ticket Promo. Nick, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so basically it's the same as last year's promotion. If you pay for an entry or more than one entry in the month of May, you get a free practice, but you also get a golden ticket. Everyone who's already booked IORK from the start for IORK 2026 also gets a golden ticket. And what happens at the end of the period, we'll draw the golden ticket out, and first place will be an entry into 2027 IORK.
That's pretty awesome.
Second place is a 2026 hoodie, IORK hoodie, and third place is a 2026 IORK cap. So exactly the same deal as last year. It went really well. It was really popular, so we thought we'd run it again.
Awesome, that's great. Who took it out last year?
So Malcolm in Christchurch. I'm not going to say his last name because I can't say it. It's Hugo, we're not going to say it.
Hugervoist.
Malcolm Hugervoist. He took it out last year, and he's racing here this year for with a free entry.
Yeah, awesome. Looking forward to seeing you, Malcolm.
Yeah.
We just wanted to say thank you for your support through episode 1. And if you're liking this sort of content and you wish to see more, let us know. The best way you can do that is liking the video, commenting on it, share it as well. If you're on YouTube, even consider subscribing. Not something that I ever think I would ever have to say in my life. Didn't think I'd be creating content like that, but here we are. So the gist of this episode is we're going to be going through all of our new rule amendments, and you can find all of our rules on the IORK website, iork.co.nz, and you can find an appendix of all the amendments that we've made for this year. So we have changed the rule of the yellow lights. We took some feedback last year. The original rule is that you're not allowed to pit during yellow lights, but we've decided to change that. What was that? Yeah, how did we go about that?
Yeah, so last year, so we had a rule that you couldn't pit on a yellow light. So, but sometimes we make rules and then you look back at them later and go, actually, it's just a silly anal rule, and it's actually just creating us more admin. You can gain a little bit of an advantage from pitting on a yellow light, but it's also a gamble because you might already be 2 people in the pits. Adds a bit of spice to the race. So why do we need this rule? In the past, we get people coming to us saying someone pitted on a yellow light, then we've got to go back and try and work out if it happened or not. It just seems like a rule that needed to be changed. So the people voted, and we made the change.
That's great. That's awesome. I suppose it kind of rewards a bit of race sense. Since we try to make it so even race-wise, having that sort of race sense where you can get some sort of advantages, like you say, risk and reward, you can take that gamble and hopefully it pays off for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Our next rule that we changed was our red light procedure. What did we have originally in place?
Okay, so basically last year our red light procedure was you needed to stop within 3 seconds on a red light. And what we found, we had an incident which could have ended quite badly, and people were stopping immediately on a red light. And the difference between our track, or most tracks, I would say, and the Ace Motorsport track was the speed. And if you're stopping immediately, it can become really dangerous. So we quickly made a decision on the night after a near miss that we needed to change that rule. They in the past they had a rule that they said that when a red light comes on, you move back to, you slow down and you don't pass and you go back to the pits, and then we go back to a rolling start red. And we just thought, well, that fits well with this track because of the speed. So that's what we need to do because we don't want anyone getting hurt. It was an under-18s race, and the young kids, the last thing we wanted to do is send someone away hurt or seriously injured. The rule went really well, the change. So we thought, okay, let's make that a rule from now on. It opens up a bit more safety for our track marshals. If there's a large crash on the track, we can get all the carts off the track so they can clear it. We can then go back to a rolling start and bunch the group back up. It puts a bit of a spice in the event. Yeah. It's also a good rule if we have a cart that breaks down in a final, so we can bring that person back into the race and they don't lose time. One thing about our rental cart event, different to most motorsport, is we like to keep people in the event, and if there's a failure because of a mechanical failure that is not their fault, for example, they've got the cart, unluckily got that cart, we want to keep them, we appreciate that people are spending a lot of money to come to our events. We want to keep them in the race, so we can bring in that red light rule for that, brings everyone back to the pits, they get another cart, and they're back in the race. So, I think last year it might have happened once or twice in the finals. It's usually once or twice in the finals. Carts are usually pretty reliable, but someone could have been running at the top the whole weekend and they just got that cart and it just let go at the wrong time. It just brings them completely back into the race and keeps the fairness, and everyone understands the rule. Everyone likes the rule because it means that it just helps them stay in it.
Keeps it interesting, doesn't it?
Keeps it interesting. Yeah.
It's better than the alternative. If you were doing this privately in a kart competition and your kart gives out in the final, you don't have a spare kart. That's you at the end of the race.
I've experienced myself many a time in motorsport. I come from a speedway background, and you've done well all weekend. You're in the finals, and something goes wrong at the end, and unfortunately we don't get to bring in another car. But this is a different sport. Rental kart racing. We can do this. We build the rule book. We build it around our drivers to give them the best experience. To give so they get the value for money from it and all. And it's just something we can do. That we try to make as fair as possible.
Yeah, be a long way to travel just to sit on the sideline.
Or just you get to the final. You've been the best driver all weekend, and then you get a flat tire or something, which is out of your control.
Yeah. So the gist of it is if a red light were to happen, and that's usually done by that's the race director makes that call whether we go red or not.
Yep.
They slow down to walking pace. Everyone comes into the pits, and then we find our leader of the race, don't we? We will then send the rest around to the back of the pack, and then from there we'll send everybody out to do the rolling start to resume the race. Yeah.
So but exactly right. So the pit stop doesn't count as a normal pit stop. It's just obviously it's a red light pit stop, which is not counted as one of your stops. The drivers in front of the lead driver will be sent round to do another lap and come back in behind the pack.
Yep.
And then from the lead driver back, you'll do a rolling start. You'll all be bunched up and you'll be back into the race. So it makes it the race a bit more exciting. It can work in your favour. It can work out our favour. If you haven't done if you've done more pit stops, you're probably better off at that stage. If you've done less, you could be disadvantaged at that stage, but that's all part of working out the best strategy for the race, and
makes it a spicy race. That's cool. So our next rule that we have changed is the pit timing. In Ace Motorsport we had a 13-second driver change. We've reduced that to 7 seconds. Is that right?
So not the driver change, that's the pit stop. So the year before we had a 7-second pit stop in Nelson, but the difference is in the longer race we had an issue. We had a mistake with our pit stop, and the drivers were coming back into sync in pretty much the same place as they were going into the pits. We try to make the pits so you get yourself out of sync with the other drivers. This year we can reassure you that won't happen, as we're going back to the times that have worked for us in the past. Unfortunately, when you go to a different track and you don't have the time to practice these things, you make an estimation on what time you think the longest stop should be, and you hope it's right, and we didn't quite get it right.
Yeah.
So, but this year we're just reassuring everyone that won't be a problem. The stop will be for the right amount of time, and you'll get yourself back out of sync.
Cool. So you can use that to your advantage. If you're stuck behind someone, you can get a leg up by doing your change or your stop early.
Yep.
And then, you can have an advantage
Get
over
yourself out of sync with another driver and hopefully outdrive them in that period.
That's right, yeah. Our next one was pit lane speed. So we've changed our rules around the penalty, haven't we?
Yeah, so first of all, we've got a system we're developing at the moment with our IT guy and Racefacer. Racefacer are our sponsors, that we're now able to measure pit speed from between our two loops. So we've got a pit loop which comes in as you enter the pits, which is actually going to slow your karts down. So as you proceed to the pit loop, we'll have a line on the track. You slow down below 10 k's per hour, and then your kart will be limited through the pit section at 10 kilometres per hour. And it'll measure the time between the two, which will measure your speed between the two. So it's a pretty clever system which we're testing at the moment and we'll have in place. From there, if you exceed the speed, so if you don't slow yourself down to that speed when you get to the blue line, you will be penalised on your stop. So you'll have additional time added to your stop. At the moment, we're discussing it as 3 seconds extra, which will make it not worth, definitely not worth coming in faster. Obviously, pit speed's a really important one for us because it's a area where someone could get seriously hurt. We have staff in that area, so we need people to respect that rule. Last year we had a penalty system for pits, which was a lot of admin for our team. We also had people banking, basically working out how many penalties they had left in the bank, and then in the finals some of them were pushing it and speeding in the pits, which we just thought, well, that's actually ridiculous. We need to get on top of that because the whole reason for the rule is pit safety. So this time it'll be a penalty. After your first infringement, you get a longer penalty. So it's going to be really punish the driver that's
you'll learn your lesson.
That's not respecting our safety.
Yeah, you'll learn your lesson. That's great. And I suppose as well, like from what my position was, I had to chase down the drivers when they're reaching a certain threshold of penalty points. Need to make sure that, hey, you're getting close to having to do a compulsory pit stop for your next race. And a lot of that was speeding infringements. So that should reduce me hunting down people and looking for you.
Yeah, another thing we're working on at the moment is a live penalty traffic light. So we're looking at doing something where you won't know how many penalty points you've got, but we'll have like a traffic light system online. So you can see if you're in the green, you're good. If you're in the yellow, you're getting close. You're mid-range in your penalties. If you're in the red, you're very close to receiving a drive-through penalty.
The black flag penalty. Yeah. And I think that addresses all of our changes for this year. If you agree with them, let us know. If you don't agree with them, also let us know. Give us your suggestions. We are working behind the scenes with partnerships to try and get local businesses on board. We want to be making this event as affordable as possible. So what are the sort of things that we're going to be working on?
So at the moment we're working on some accommodation partnerships. We're also looking at, so we've got some very close. The advantage we have here compared to a lot of other tracks is we've got accommodation walking distance from us. We're right at the beach. We've got for those of you that haven't been to this event before, we're literally next to the beach. We've got accommodation 400 or 500 metres away from us, a motor camp, we've got motels, we've got fast food, etc. So we're just trying to create some partnerships with businesses in the area so you don't have to go too far to get some services and potentially get some deals. So that's something we're working on behind the scenes. The first one we want to tick off is the accommodation, so we can pass that on to you guys as soon as possible, and we're looking to get that out sort of probably the middle of May, get some deals on our website or links to the partners. And then we'll look at food and beverage and whatever else we can think of. If you think of anything you want, drop us a comment or flick us a message, because we're going to try and work on that really hard.
Well, that wraps up episode 2. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like what we're doing, let us know by liking the video or commenting. Give us your feedback. Start a discussion below in the comments. We hope to see you guys in the next one. Our episode 3, we're going to be diving into some of the feedback that we got given last year. So that's going to be a good episode to go through.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks.